The purpose of history is to do three things: explain who we are as a species, explain where did we come from, and what most people want is where are we going in the future. If you watch my latest YouTube video, I try to explain four different perspectives on how should we view our entire history as a species. And to summarize, one of the four perspectives is that we live in a cycle, or life goes in a circle, where we have these repetitive behaviors that come around every few decades or centuries, and we repeat old mistakes. A lot of people are saying that we do live in a cyclical cycle because obviously in the United States we're experiencing something big that it everyone's trying to explain. And there's, if you read some scholars, I in my video talk about this book called Generations, or The Fourth Turning, that tries to explain every 80 years or so in the United States, at least, we go through a really large traumatic experience. 80 years ago was World War II. 80 years before that was the Civil War, and then the Revolutionary War. And it makes a lot of sense. But on the other half of the spectrum, a lot of people argue that we live in a linear society where we are constantly progressing. And there's a famous scholar that in his book Enlightenment Now, he tries to explain that we are progressing as a species, that poverty is down, that literacy rates are up, life expectancy is up. And I mean, that book was written 6 years ago. And if you look at our society now, we're actually kind of regressing. So the linear or progressive take is not as valid as some people might think right now. And a lot of people in some of my old videos suggest that we actually live in a spiral where, technologically speaking, we are advancing in the future, but we repeat natural humanistic behaviors. And that holds a lot of weight. And personally, I do see that. And I can see the arguments, I can see that side. But I honestly think that history is more or less like an ocean where we have all of these different cultures globally, and each culture has its own life cycle. And in general, we are progressing as a species, but that doesn't mean that we will always progress. History is uncertain, the future is uncertain. And I truly think that we could end in a very, very traumatic way, especially with nuclear powers. Whole hell